is our Work Progress Administration room. And the reason Lee and I decided to separate it this way, the Works Progress Administration program was something that President Franklin D. Roosevelt started to get artists and creatives active in the community, active in jobs, the arts. That also program also helped with building roads and bridges and painting businesses and murals. So it was all part of the whole process. For the state of Florida, the Work Progress Administration home base for the Black community was the Clara White Mission. And here was a writer's project, a sewing project, an art project, a health project, a music project, and other things that gave the Black community an opportunity to have a job. As you know, first fired, last hired, and in many cases, African Americans had a harder time getting a job. So with the Work Progress Administration being based here in Jacksonville, Florida at the Clara White Mission, Eartha White's charge was to make sure that African Americans in the state of Florida would get some of these jobs. And so what came out of this is the Florida Writers Project. The Negro division was considered one of the best in the country. They say only New Orleans kind of rivaled it. And this is where Zora Neale Hurston was one of the writers, and Stetson Kennedy. So those of you who don't know who Stetson Kennedy is or was, Stetson Kennedy was a white man that infiltrated the Klan and wrote a book about it. And he literally had to leave the country to save his life. But they tracked him down 5 years later in Paris, but he survived anyway. So the other major thing that came out of it is the art project. The first Black art gallery in the South was here at the Clara White Mission. And it was documented through Dr. Elaine Locke, the renowned professor, educator, and art advocate from Howard University, who was working with the Work Progress Administration Art Project. He was kind of one of the advisors. But he noted that the art gallery and the art show that happened here on the second floor, the Clara White Mission, was the first one in the country, especially in the South. And she did that in addition to already have a founding the Eartha White Museum. So this happened in 1936. There were 7 Black artists whose work were on display here. And in fact, researchers have said that the art project here was the model for other art projects across the country. There are at least 5 dissertations about the art project or the writers project based right here at the Clara White Mission. And so that has showed you the impact of the Clara White Mission and Eartha White beyond just feeding people right here on the city. And what is also exciting is we actually have, that's the 7 Daughters of Pallades. That actually was an art piece created during the art project. And it is sitting on one of the Work Progress Administration file cabinets. Those 2 wooden file cabinets, if you look up closely, you will see WPA engraved on them. And that is where we also found several documents relating to the project in these file cabinets. And so, again, Eartha White's impact beyond right here on 613 Ashley Street and out east. This actually is Eartha White's desk, one of the desks that she sat in. You see how tiny it was, just like she was tiny. And we're just really excited and honored that we have so much things about this woman. And as much as I've shared with you today about her, I have about 1,000 more things I could tell you. I know that once I finish giving a tour and sharing what I know, something pops up I wish I had told you about. And so this is, I'm really pleased to be able to share her legacy and get it promoted, make people more aware of the impact and the influence that she has had on our community, in business, in politics, social justice, women's rights, children's rights, elder care, uh, even the penal system. She had a boys' home and a girls' home out east, and she also, along with Dr. Bethune and 5 other prominent black women, established the Forest Hill School for Girls in Forest Hill, Florida. And so, again, just her impact is beyond what you think you knew about her. And people who say they remember seeing her as a child, they said, I didn't know she was doing all that stuff. And that was the beauty of it, is that she did the work, she didn't look for the accolades, and yet her legacy still lives on. If any of you ever played in Oakland Park, you have Eartha White to thank for that. That was the first park that black children could play in the city of Jacksonville. And the first pool that black children could swim in, Eartha White established it. So if you ever enjoyed that pool out on Moncrief Road, or if you enjoyed the Oakland Park out over here in Iona, that's Eartha White's legacy. It's part of the legacy. So I'm going to stop here because